Hello and welcome. We're playing Gnomoria this episode, and it's basically a kind of strategy. It's like a society simulator type of thing. You build your kingdom, as they call it, and you basically try to you get your resources, you create items, you craft items, you pretty much a lot of your kingdom is built on things that you just pretty much pick up along the way in the wilderness. So we're gonna go ahead and start. I had one Land of Invisibility. So let's try to see. Eaten Land, Starry Famine, the Pitch Kingdom, Weird Yarn, Chained Romance, Stylish Glutton, Feated the Fet. I don't know what that word is. The Mine Kingdom, Tree Jungle, Bushel Skirt, the Decayed Land, Dream Serpent, the Nose Key. I love these type of random names. I've played a lot of it. There we go, Tempest Kingdom. That sounds cool. I like the ability to go really far advanced with the seeds and the developing the map, especially this right here. I always go for the most shallow and abundant resources possible, and I've noticed that the enemies are kind of annoying pretty early on. So, well, I want wild animals. I don't want goblins. Mants are like human ant hybrid types of things. Golems, they're kind of annoying. Zombies are the worst to get caught up in. Zombies infect everybody in your kingdom, and when you have so few people and you start to encounter them, it's basically game over. In my opinion. So let's see. 1, 2, 2, 5, 4, 6, 3. Can I type in here? No words, no symbols. Shoot. And we're gonna, I don't know what this does here, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. And what should we go for? Tall, flat, tall, flat. Let's go little flat, whitish hills, and go smooth. Well, you know what? Let's just go with the, just screw it and go tall. Beetles too, kind of get in the way, but the skeletons, mants. I want to. I lost my last kingdom to Mance, and I had a pretty good kingdom setting up. So this is going to generate. It does take a little while. I'm not going to lie. So we're just going to go ahead and cut right over to that. All right. Okay, it should be coming up here in just a minute. I did want to say that you can purchase this game on Steam. I didn't see a lot of. I mean, I'll include the rest of the links to purchase in the description. But from what I can tell through stream, you know, it's pretty cool through the community hub. You get to see all these different designs that people have made up. I don't know which kind I'm preferring. I've seen castle fortresses, things like that. I've gotten creative to the point of putting everything inside the mountain, like what I would assume would be standard type of how would I put it? Standard type of design for anybody starting out in the game. When I first started, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. It was seriously, I saw Gnomoria, I saw that it looked pretty cool, and it, you know, I didn't realize that there was such an elaborate system behind it, which I was pretty impressed by once I started get to know it. You know, I'd read up on the wiki. I just started developing different things that I could do with it, and they keep updating it. I'd say about once a week there's a pretty solid update going. The last one was a fix. Oh, here we go. The last one was a fix where, and I'm going to bring up the interface here, the options. For the gameplay, you can choose a lot of ways, like how often you want the game to automatically save. This is the most recent one, to pause and show arriving nomads. Now, nomads are new dwarfs brought in depending on your kingdom's growth and wealth, and you can do different things to enhance that wealth. Decorating the floors, I've seen helps a lot. Your great hall, your dining room. You can have multiple dining rooms, and then just pick. You can only pick one great hall for all the nomads to meet up in. Um, you can choose this default setting for jobs to automatically generate new jobs for missing ingredients and whatnot. That's if you want something built, which we'll get into here in a minute. If you want something built, having this automatically on, I believe, forces them to craft items for that object. I'm not sure what this entirely is for. The depth increases more than width or length. I'm not completely. And then there's these. These show the action bar, which I believe is the little thing below here. Oops. Stockpiles, it'll show you where you've got stockpiles, and we'll get to those in just a second. Farms, it'll show you where the farms are, shows where the pastures, and so forth, as you see there. I've turned these off for the moment because they tend to overshadow the entirety of the decorations that I put into the kingdom. So we're just gonna move on from there. Now it looks like, I don't know if that's the normal amount of gnomes that you get. That seems like a lot less than I thought. So you get a couple yaks. You get all these storage things. You got 64 food, 128 drinks, and let's see. This is your kingdom. This determines your total worth. The higher your worth, the more nomads you'll get at a particular time, which seems to be in the first day of every season. So first day of spring, first day of winter, first day of fall, first day of summer. You will, depending on your worth anyway, get a certain amount of nomads. Workshops, it details the workshops that you have, ones that aren't in use. I'm not completely sure about the no room. Tilled plots for farms, seeds planted, crops ready, pastured, how many males and females you have. You do a little bit of animal husbandry on there. It is crucial to the growth of your kingdom. And then rooms, you can do personal quarters, or you can do dormitories, where it's a community of beds and whatnot for the gnomes, little gnome guys here. If you choose to do dormitories, they're less effective than having personal rooms for each individual gnome. I've not spent enough time with it to know the full effect, if it is effective. But it makes me feel better that they've got their rooms. They do. I know that it says that they sleep longer, or no, they sleep. Takes less time for them to get tired. If they're in dormitories, I imagine they got all those other gnome assholes keeping them awake. Okay, let's go ahead and get to creating our area. Now, each part of your population has jobs. They kind of paired off certain jobs, the most essential ones anyway. Farmer, you gotta have a rancher to take care of the yaks. They did just do an update where you can stock troughs in the pastures, and they've enhanced the pasture to require more space to accommodate for the changes they did on that. I'm not sure to the full extent of that. And then we got woodcutters. They got to chop down the trees. We got the miners. They got to dig. The builders will build items, craft items, build workshops, help construct things that you put into the world. And then the professions, you can pretty much, I'd say this is one of the most coolest things, is you can pretty much make a solid new profession to any degree of combinations that you want on this. And then this will show you the deceased. And it does happen more often than not, mainly with me. There's the events. These will tell you things. A yak was born, bear was spotted, who's died, what else does it say? If nomads have arrived. When you build a market stall, it'll let you know when the when the traders come in. And then this is the combat. You can record combat through the training grounds, which we'll get to in a probably later episode. And then you can also watch the combat when an enemy appears. Now I've changed the rate of attack of the rate that enemies showed up to the most minimal, 0.5. I believe it's a ratio of how often it shows up. So it'll be one skeleton or whatever showing up, depending on the wealth of the city. It increases the worth of your kingdom, increases the chances of both getting nomads and enemies. And when I really hit my worth last map I did, it brought in the mans, and those things are the roughest bastards on the planet that I've had to deal with in any game. Could not find a way to kill them. Of course, my military skills in this game are subpar. So let's go ahead and just do a few things here. So here's your menu. You right click it, you bring up everything that you want to do. If I want to mine, let's say I want to mine, I'm going to build a quick little space here, because in order to build a crude workshop, we'll go to the build menu, workshop, crude workbench, you have to have raw stone and a log. I will just place it out here for the moment. For agriculture, I'm going to start off by getting at least one farm going, mainly food. Well, you know what, let's do two. I'm going to do wheat, which we'll need for straw, grain for bread or beer, and let's do strawberries. And you can prioritize each item. I cut corners. I just prioritize everything to number one. I want to see how far I can push the game. Maybe I falter a little bit on that because I've done a number of kingdoms that were way too ill prepared at the wrong moment. Of course, that was when I was learning about the system entirely. Let's see. For another thing in agriculture, we're going to set up a pasture. Now, we'll get to this here in a minute. I'm going to make it slightly small. Only 3. Okay. So we got someone setting up the ranch. They're going to bring the yaks over to it. And then that's going to be that right here. I might build a fence around it, but that depends on how big we make it. So let's not count all our eggs right away. Another thing in agriculture, and you'll be using this a lot for a lot of the things as far as this. I'm going to go to extremes here and just just level the entire area for trees. That way I have an area that I can work with, and if I want to build a kingdom, I can. Next thing in agriculture is foraging. Now they'll forage the bushes and the trees. The apple trees, the orange trees. I guess that's it for now anyway. Like I said, they update everything. I've seen so many new things come in since I bought the game. It's been pretty cool. So these are cotton plants, and these right here are strawberry plants. Obviously cotton will come into play at a later date here. I think that's about it. I think we're gonna go ahead and let them do their thing. Another thing, I mean, I don't really worry about the length too much. It does take a while for the map to generate, and it does take a while in general for the game to kind of develop as you start in, which I'm all for. I mean, the person who developed this, and I'll have the name in the description below, he had inspirations from one of my favorite games is Anno 2070, which was a pretty cool, just almost exactly like this in certain ways, but it's a kind of a SimCity, futuristic settlement management game simulator. If I can figure out a way to express that. and it works on resources, you know, trading with other places, which I hope that that comes into this, you know, other gnome kingdoms, or if you can connect all your gnome kingdoms into one little area and they could just trade with each other, that'd be freaking awesome. You know, the way that game was built, I really liked it, and this seems to follow in that same sort of vein of watching your city develop, kingdom in this case, and watching everybody work and gather and just develop things, and to watch it become something huge. Now, my strategy right now is to just go inside the mountain a little bit. Oh, see, there's our stone right there. Here's your layers. You can go in through layers. Something I was a little annoyed at first until I started understanding it. What is this? This is sandstone. Okay, I haven't dealt with sandstone yet. You know, that's our raw block that we're gonna want. You can go pretty far down, and if you watch the meter up here, you can see it goes. What was it? I think it was 106. Is it how far it goes? 102. Okay. You can go pretty far down. I have gotten probably half as far from 0. Yeah, so it was about 45 or whatever layers that I got down to. You can find every different kind of stone you can think of. There's bauxite, there's granite, there's marble. Marble, I like marble. I like decorating with the marble. It's white, it's clean, it just looks really good. Serpentine rock, which is kind of greenish. Sandstone, which we just saw. Lapis lazuli. This is a cell phone block, which was interesting. Is nobody taking care of the pasture there, buddies? I'm gonna widen that just a bit, so you can designate areas. Like I was saying, stockpiles. You put stockpiles over here to make room for other things. Right now I'm doing a log. I'm gonna put that up there, and right next to it I'm gonna designate the area. Now, as long as if I put this here, if I go from here and make a pasture, it's gonna completely be a different pasture. If I use it within the same pasture that pasture designation, I can extend the pasture itself, the one pasture, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. These are tree clippings. These you can grow them. They're saplings. If you guys follow any of my Minecraft saplings, Gnomoria clippings. They're pretty much the same thing. They grow trees in a grove when you decide to do that. And I don't know. I don't really care for the groves. So I just rely on getting food off the trees whenever they bloom or ripen, or whatever you want to call it. Water, it doesn't become as much of a necessity as you'd think. In fact, other than it being able to pool into your digging area if you dig into a hole, it doesn't really serve a purpose other than making a well, which I've not seen a lot of purpose on either. At least not yet, you know. So they're kind of taking care of the woods. I'm really hoping for a faster zoom so I can see everything go quicker, but I can understand why it would just be at 2. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull a staircase going down to our block area. So we're gonna cut right to that. Okay, so I've gotten to the level that I want to get to the sandstone. So let's go ahead and just make one big thing. They're pretty quick on it. Once they get to stone, they kind of have a hard time dealing with it. But I mean, if anybody's played any crafting game like this, they know that it's always difficult with rocks. So we've got a couple wandering around out here. So the stockpile is working pretty well. Let's see. This is always the toughest part because I don't know how I want the layout to start yet. And by the way, this is when you press E, it kind of shows you the detailed depth well, not detailed, but I mean, it erases the these hidden squares and just kind of opens it up for you to see the entire fortress. So if you build something interior that's very large and hollow, it's a cool way to kind of see the entirety of your kingdom underground instead of layer by layer. Alright guys, make that workshop. See, they made the workshop. Okay. Now what I try to do, I'm still not sure what I want to do on the portion here, but we got a pretty good area. I'm gonna give the miners something to mine about. You can cancel the jobs. The gerbs. Okay. I love the music on this. Nope, 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 I don't want that. Don't want that. Nope, no. Sometimes you gotta get it quick before they go and do that. I like to be inside the mountain. I don't want it to be anything exposed. Try to get the hidden ones and then we'll worry about the rest later. I gotta cancel that one. Cancel that one. You do accrue a lot of dirt. I found it's easier just to wait for a merchant to arrive and then kind of pawn it off on them so that they can deal with it. The dirt doesn't really come in handy for me at any rate. I use the stones. And then what I'll do is, once this interior is made up, it's big enough where I don't have to do secondary levels or anything like that. We might be able to fit in the whole kingdom into this one level. And then I'm going to try to make a castle later on in the series to try to, well, you know, this channel is meant to be for creativity and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to try to build a pretty decent castle while getting attacked constantly by man ants. Let's see. No sound effects as far as I've seen. Nothing. Well, nothing big or anything like that, but which isn't a complaint. I mean, I guess it's hard to put sound effects into a space like this when you're really top down from the whole area. Here we go. So I got the mine, it's just on these steps, and these steps will continue to go further. I mean, doing top down and things like that seems to work out just fine. There's no shortage of precious metals and things like that you can find. Okay. So how should we start this? You can build terrain. You can go ahead to go to the wall here. Build any log. I'm actually going to make sure that we make a few of these workbenches. Get some builders really going. really try to get things. Okay. You can always check on your kingdom worth too. Once you put a great hall in, then it comes up substantially. Once you decorate that hall, I put two marble statues and 2 golden statues at my last grand hall. It went up by about 7,000 points in worth. So that was pretty interesting. Let's remove floor. There's 2 ways this goes. There's the wall and then there's the floor that's on top of it. Taking out the wall does not remove the floor. You have to go up and remove it. Sometimes that can be more irritating than anything. You can really only do one little one little strip at a time. But first things first, we're going to start up our designations. So you can put in a hospital. That is for any injured gnomes to kind of come in and let's just leave that as it is. So this will be our little area here. And a build. Plank. We gotta make a plank first so that they have a template to work off of. Let me go ahead and think this through real quick. I'll be right back.